Bonjour. Good morning. I'm Ken Jin, the CCS Annual Meeting Chair, and this is Anik Ducharme, the Scientific Program Chair. We're pleased to welcome you to the 2019 Canadian Cardiovascular Congress in beautiful, vibrant Montreal.
Bonjour à tous. En tant que présidente du comité scientifique de la Société canadienne de cardiologie, j'aimerais vous souhaiter la bienvenue à Montréal, chez moi. I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka, sorry if I misspelled that, the Mohawk, a place which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange among nations. So, sorry about that. Despite the success we've had over the last 7 decades in reducing the burden of heart disease in Canada, cardiovascular care is becoming increasingly complex. Our population continues to age, and with that, so too does the need to manage coexisting disease. In research, the era of the lone investigator in an isolated laboratory is gone. That has been replaced by cross-departmental, cross-disciplinary, cross-institutional, and cross-border collaboration. However, while the research landscape has shifted, the goal of the Canadian Cardiovascular Congress remained the same: to bring these organizations and their members together to improve the cardiovascular health of Canadians. We believe such collaboration will impact the entire cardiovascular care continuum, from fundamental science to health system redesign. Regardless of your area of expertise, I'm confident that over the next few days, you'll be enriched by the new ideas and approaches. They will resonate in your research program and practice, and you will be able to bring home some new tools and skills back to your practice at home. I invite you to feel the vibrancy of Montreal and revel in the relationship building and collaborative learning that happens when we come together. I hope this CCC will be truly enjoyable for all of you. Sorry. Each time we focus on making CCC better than the last, with new concept and novel programming design, this year is no different. One of the most notable shifts, it changes the shift from Thursday to Sunday schedule. This came because of you, because of favorable reaction to the same format for Vascular 2013. Another important initiative implemented this year was the requirement of the 3 Gs. What's 3 Gs? It is for all the workshop submission and in the plenaries developed by the scientific program committees. The 3 Gs are geography, gender, and generation. As a submission criteria, they encourage the involvement of multiple career stages from the variety of discipline and region of Canada. This year, the Community Forum Theatre has been expanded to 2 theaters. During the health break, lunches, and reception, the Community Forum Theatres will host interactive session, including the affiliate Limelight session. Make sure to stop by.
No, shoot.
And backed by popular demand, our very own funny man, Ansar Hassan, host of last year Hollywood North game, if you can recognize here our Ken and Thor, superhero. Ansar will be hosting the 2019 must-see TV event, Cardiovation, on Friday evening at 4:30. Modeled after the show Shark Tanks and Dragon Dance, you'll see 3 teams present their unique innovations to our panel made up of Chiming Chow, Sarah Gupta, Catherine Kells, and two-day keynote speakers, Gigi Osler. The winner will be decided by you, the audience, so make sure you're there and that you vote. Speaking of politics, Team Canada versus Team USA. They will be going head-to-head in the CCS-ACC joint debate series on Friday afternoon from 2 to 3. The first of the 2 debates will ask the question if heart failure patient with reduced ejection fraction should be routinely referred for AFib ablation. The second will tackle the long-standing debate of TAVI versus surgery. Come on and cheer your team. We'd also like to give a big Canadian welcome to our friends from the European Society of Cardiology. The 2019 ASC representative have 2 joint CCC and ASC workshops. There's a workshop, plenary on Friday, workshops on Saturday morning. The Friday session is also a debate. So we will tackle the topic of congenital heart disease patient, should they undergo pregnancy. Saturday's session will discuss the management of complex arrhythmia. So we really hope that you enjoy what we have in store for you this weekend. But we can't get it quite right without your help, and we welcome your feedback. Please do complete your evaluation for all the sessions you attend through the 2019 CCC mobile app. Please also be sure to complete the overall CCC 2019 evaluation to receive your certificate of attendance.
Speaking of the app, can everyone take out their devices and open up the app? Let's play with one of the features. You have your phones out? So click on the Audience Response System button, the one that says ARS at the bottom of your screen. Then select the first session, the kickoff session, and participate in the poll. Anik?
Yep. So let's go. First question of the poll. The term sex and gender means the same thing and can be used interchangeably in health research. It's a yes or no. Interesting. Okay. Can we have the second question? Second question. I currently apply a sex and/or gender-based analysis to my research. Interesting results on an interesting topic. The CCS is working with the CIHR, Institute of Gender and Health, to introduce a new trainee-specific abstract award on sex and gender-based analysis at CCC 2020. It will recognize a trainee that best integrates sex and gender into their research design, analysis, and reporting. Look for it in the 2020 call for abstract. We look forward working with CIHR on this program.
And now it's time to thank our sponsors. I'm just going to take a minute to put on my special thank you glasses. By the way, these glasses are available on the CCS app for $500. So meetings of this nature require a significant investment from our friends on the commercial side of the cardiovascular care business. They not only make it financially possible to host this meeting, but they enable quality content in innovative formats, like CCC 2019 Live and CCC Learning on Demand. We thank them for their high caliber speakers and co-developed accredited symposia, as well as several sizable annual research awards. We thank them for supporting CCS in developing and disseminating world-renowned guidelines, and for taking part in the community forum, displaying the significant role they play in optimizing quality of life for Canadians. We couldn't do it without them. And now I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors.
Nous souhaitons la bienvenue à Montréal.
The Alliance is proud to contribute once again as a top-level sponsor for this year's Congress. Our thanks to the CCS for providing the platform to share the most recent advances in research, education, clinical practice, and health policy.
Et merci à vous, chers participants, de transposer ces connaissances pour améliorer le bien-être de vos patients. Have a great meeting.
BEAR is committed to supporting the CCC because we believe in developing and providing new cardiovascular therapies for Canadians. The CCC plays an important role in the scientific dissemination and knowledge translation that ensures the appropriate use of these therapies.
Novartis, we are committed to extending and improving people's lives. We're proud to support the Canadian Cardiovascular Conference given our heritage and rich portfolio in cardiovascular medicine. We support the Canadian Cardiovascular Conference to network, partner, and enable knowledge translation. We wish everyone a fantastic conference à Montréal. À bientôt.
Our grand patron industry supporter is the Boehringer Ingelheim Eli Lilly Alliance. Our patron industry sponsor is Amgen. Our contributor industry supporters are AstraZeneca, NLLM, Servier, and our premier gold program supporters are the CIHR, Institute of Circulatory and Respiratory Health. A huge thank you to all of you for your ongoing support of the trainee program and the Have a Heart Bursary program. These two programs continue to make a difference in the growth and development of the future generation of cardiovascular clinicians and researchers. And our silver program supporter is the Libin Cardiovascular Institute of Alberta. The Canadian Cardiovascular Society and the Heart and Stroke Foundation are grateful for your participation in each and every supporter of the CCC. We strongly encourage you to find the time to visit with our larger cardiovascular community while exploring exhibits in the community forum. And now, I would like to invite Dr. Andrew Cron, President of the Canadian Cardiovascular Society, to the podium.
Love the glasses. Okay, bon matin à tous. Bienvenue à Montréal. Good morning, everyone. Oh, that's much better. Good morning to everybody. Okay, well. Okay, maybe that's not the advancer. Let's try this one. How many people in the room recognize this image? Hands up, please. How many people know who Banksy is? Much better. Okay, so this is Banksy's picture called The Embrace. I showed this 5 years ago when I was annual meeting chair at this opening ceremonies. And one of the things that I called for was to try to be the couple in the moment, embracing the face-to-face experience here, as opposed to the couple in the moment that are looking over each other's shoulder at their phone. So how many of you have your phone on vibrate? I would argue probably most of you don't. And the reason is, we're never without it. It is the most addictive drug on earth. So I'm going to ask you for the next 3 days to think about living in the moment in this community. So if your life is like mine, it's a little bit like this fellow on the left here. So this young man is competing time between home and work, between academic and clinical activities, has a million things going on in a 200% day. And we carry that baggage with us all the time. Time is our precious resource. And I would ask you to step through that door and join the village called CCC, and for 3 days try to shed those things and listen and interact with the people around you. If I ask myself what it is that you come to Congress for, you have told us repeatedly that although you come to learn and you come to present, you really come to network. You come to engage with the people around you. And I'll ask you to do that with this beautiful image of a village or a town, which we'll call CCC. And we're going to start by doing something a little unusual, and I'm going to ask you all to stand up. Stand up with me now. Okay, we've done physical activity in the past. Now we're going to do meet and greet, which is find a stranger around you and introduce yourself. Go for it. Sorry? Yeah, okay, you guys saw that coming. So Dr. Osler's from Winnipeg too. Okay, everybody. Okay, the reception will start after the meeting. Okay, so you met somebody new. And welcome back. So it turns out that there are a bunch of interesting people in our audience, and some of them are strangers and don't need to be for long. So most of us have a strong digital connection, and we have that on a global basis. Our discipline and our activities are very global. So what is it about CCC that makes you come here? Why are we here? What's special about this? 70% of our members are members of affiliates, which are subspecialty groups like heart failure and rehab and EP and surgery, for example. And all of those areas have outstanding international meetings that will have, if you like, deeper content than we're going to have in the next 3 days. But what they will not have is putting that into the context of the Canadian healthcare system, and they will not have the team that does the delivery at their side. And that's what we have. I just met a nurse from Saskatoon. She's here to learn about cardiovascular care and how it applies across the country. And in this instance, this is really a national experience for her. So what I'll ask you to do is suspend those distractions that take you outside of our environment and think about our healthcare system and how we can function together as a team. So here is something that we've been working on as a society for the last year that is a big part of taking our organization and thinking of it as a team. So our One Heart model is the whole premise that we're going to base our existence on starting on January 1st, where both CCS and each of those subspecialty affiliates have forged a relationship that will be a working relationship for how we function as a team to balance our specialty and our broad cardiovascular community and its function as a team. Because after all, healthcare and healthcare delivery is a team sport. It's a no-silo zone, and the whole idea here is this is the greatest place to learn about the things that you don't do every day from your peers, and in that sense, build the community that we work in. Anik already alluded to this concept of diversity. So in the last year, we have in fact approved and implemented a diversity and equity policy Yay, Kathy is giving me the big thrill. But quite frankly, what I want to say is as you look around, you will see the beginnings of this process taking place with things like the workshop balance that Anik described. But at the same time, this is a journey for us as a society to change the culture. And the culture doesn't change quickly. So you have an old white guy as your president standing right in front of you. Okay? The good news is the CEO, the past president, the past president are all women. And they were not there because they were women. They were there because of merit. And that's what we're after, is a merit system that balances equity, diversity with merit. And it's a journey, and please join me in that quest as we go forward, as we try to develop systems and processes that ensure that we have those things in mind in everything we do, from guidelines, Congress, membership processes, CPD, et cetera. So a little sneak peek of where we're at. With the new CEO, we embarked on the process of a strategic plan. And the strategic plan, I want to leave you with a couple things that you're going to see emerging as we turn this into our action plan. So the first of these is that we have a focus on health care and care delivery. That's what most of us feel like we do every day. But what we want to do is turn this a little on its side and have a focus on health. So think of the rationale of prevention of acute care, but also recovery, as well as supportive care at the end of life. These are all parts of cardiovascular health that we want to be thinking of as a message as opposed to cardiovascular care. And within that context, what we see are us as a community, as healthcare professionals, and if we thrive, that system focused on health will be better for patients who can also then thrive. And we do this by doing things like setting standards, like creating and disseminating knowledge. And one of our goals is to use those processes as our toolkit to try to influence the health system and the policy around it. So I end on a happy note. So how many recognize this image? Okay, there are a few hands. So this is an interesting final note from Banksy. So what Banksy did is he had a picture called The Girl with the Red Balloon. And this went up for auction at Sotheby's last November. And at the point of sale, when it sold for $1.4 million, the painting had a built-in shredder, and it shredded the painting in front of the entire horrified audience. This was Banksy's way of saying screw you to the art world, which was trying to make an egalitarian statement about the exclusive nature of overpriced art, and that this really should be a common commodity enjoyed by all people. So I believe that's the case for Congress, and I'm about to prove it. Because I am indeed wearing the appropriate Banksy t-shirt. Okay. So, since my lavalier's not working, I ask you to join me in putting on your CCS hat. And think of this community, turn your phone off, turn your ears on, listen to the people around you, and let's learn and create that community together. Thank you. So my last action is it gives me pleasure to introduce Dr. Anne Simard. Anne is the Chief Mission and Research Officer at the Heart and Stroke, and she is our partner in the quest for learning, innovation, and discovery, and she is going to address us about the heart and stroke perspective on our Congress. Welcome, Anne.
I feel completely improperly dressed, is the first thing that I need to say. Alors, bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à Montréal. J'ajoute le bienvenue à celui de Dr. Duchamp. Et vraiment, c'est un honneur d'être parmi vous, comme votre partenaire. It's really an honor to be here as a partner. We work incredibly closely with CCS as an organization and with all the members to realize the part of our work that is our mission. And our mission has 3 pillars. One is promote health, the second is save lives, and the third is enhance recovery. And it was really exciting to see the sneak peek that Andrew offered into where you're going strategically as a society, because certainly I think there's great opportunities for partnerships across those 3 pillars. And with the focus on heart health in all its dimensions, maybe we'll spend some time in the promote health side together in the future. So last year, my colleague and our CEO, Yves Savoie, who I saw dancing up there, although, Andrew, I wasn't really sure what you were doing in that picture, but maybe we won't talk about that. Yves was here talking about how heart and stroke also had been in a period of renewal with a new strategic plan that we just launched last year. And since then, and you all know this because you spend a lot of time creating a strategic plan, but then you actually have to get moving and start doing. Et vraiment, la dernière année, ça a été une année qu'on a mis beaucoup le focus et l'attention sur la réalisation des orientations et commencer vraiment à faire un virage organisationnel. So we've been in a period of sort of transformation. A lot of the core things that we do haven't changed. And one of the core things that I think you would know very well is our research. And research remains the single biggest investment of the organization. We're about $28 million in research that we invest every year. And that number has been really steady for the last few years. And tremendously this year in our grant and aid program, we had a 24% success rate. So there's lots of good community out there, many of you in juggling those many hats that you have in those many roles are part of our research community. And I do want to take a moment to recognize that it's great to be a research funder, but there has to be people with curiosity and desire and interest in pursuing research. And so just really want to take a moment to also thank you for being the people out there driving the new knowledge generation, thinking about what needs to change, and then really working with us to try to make those things come to life. It's incredibly important. The other thing that we've been doing over the past year is really trying to think a little bit differently about, it's great to have kind of some core efforts, but we also need to do some focusing. And we have had a process that's been going on for about 18 months that really culminated in the spring with identifying a set of priorities for the foundation. That was done through a number of councils, which Andrew was the chair of one, Shelley was on another, Howard was on another, lots of people that I recognize, but also with patient partners and with other clinicians and researchers coast to coast. And we identified a number of priorities. And the first one is the whole dynamic of the heart-brain connection. And if you're heart and stroke, where you have kind of a heart over here and a stroke, thinking about it in a more integrative way and really thinking about what could we be doing. We talked about the multi-comorbidities, we talked about the complex cases, and we also recognize that many of these dimensions of heart and brain health have similar risk factors. And so one of the things that we're going to be launching this year, there's lots of activities across our spectrum, but we're also going to be launching a new type of research competition with new dollars. And so when I was listening to Anik talking about the nature of research that we want, trans-border, multi-team, looking at things from multiple disciplines, we will be launching a competition of that nature, and we've got $5 million to kick it off. So we're very, very excited. That'll be coming in the next little while. And then we're also launching another competition, similar but different, on the kind of prevention dimensions that cut across heart and brain health. So, I think if you think about our three pillars, promote health, save lives, and enhance recovery, we're always trying to do a balance across the three. The last thing I just wanted to say is, cardiovascular health research and the dynamics for the community of people living with heart conditions and disease continues to be very, very central to the work of the foundation. We have 16 chairs in cardiovascular health across the country, in addition to all the funded researchers and whatever personnel or grant and aid programs. So just really want to recognize the importance of the partnership with the professional groups, the importance of the partnership to also think about how could we address the questions that we're grappling with in the health system. On sait qu'il y a des crises dans le système, que le système est complexe, que les besoins sont larges, que les exigences sur les professionnels sont énormes. Mais nous aussi, on peut être votre partenaire pour essayer de faire les changements dans les systèmes. Et donc, I was very excited to see policy and advocacy emerge as a potential, because as you know, heart and stroke, this last year, one of our huge policy initiatives was around creating a new Canada Food Guide. And we spent a great deal of energy trying to kind of drive that change. We didn't get all of the things we hoped for, but certainly, as you know, we've been very active in stroke system change. And this year, we're going to be focusing on heart failure and congenital heart disease and thinking about what we can do to kind of address some of the issues in partnership with you. Alors, je vais terminer. J'ai besoin d'un chapeau. Moi aussi, je vais porter mon chapeau CCS. Je serai ici pour les 4 jours du Congrès. I look forward to learning alongside you. I look forward to continuing to work with CCS and all the member societies. We are incredibly grateful and appreciative to be your partner and to ultimately do and accomplish the things that I think we share in common, which is really about the health of people in Canada. Alors, merci beaucoup, bon congrès et à bientôt.
Merci, Anne. It's always good to hear Heart and Stroke has new money. So you remember this from last year? Vous vous souvenez, regardez les gens. Des fois, on est un peu gêné. That's Ken doing the ACA. Can you do it again for me, Ken? Please. Yeah, you look great. And Michelle was quite, people were really excited. So, what a great way to start CCC 2018. I wonder if we could top that this year. Let's try. So please give a warm CCC welcome to Michelle Hillier from Experience Groove.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Are we good? I have the honor of getting us up and moving and getting our hearts woken up for the day so we can be ready for lots of learning. So we're going to do something called Groove. Can everyone say Groove? Ooh, say it with some more passion. Groove. All right. Put your coffees and devices down and stand for me. Let's get this groove party started. Everybody show me your hands in the air. Wave them around. Give the person beside you a high five. Say good morning. Other side of you, good morning. Generate some heat, and let's all connect together on a snap. Our goal is to sound like one person snapping. Are you ready? Here we go. I like it. Good. Now, step number 2, take your snap anywhere you want. So don't copy me. Yes, anywhere you want. Step number 3, add some style and snap with people around you. Make some eye contact. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. So we just took the snap and we grooved it. And when you groove, you can't get anything wrong. We can stop snapping now. Can we take one finger high in the sky? Tell the person beside you, say, you can't get this wrong. Other finger high in the sky. Tell someone across the room they can't get this wrong. And 2 fingers, say, I can't get this wrong. All right, legs are wide. Bend your knees. DJ, we're ready for some music. Put your hands on a big drum for me. Let's get going here. Here, hit the drum. Boom. Doesn't matter which arm you use. Bang that drum. Hit. Nice. Can you relax your body a little more? Kind of get into it. I saw some style earlier. Hit. Hit. Nice. You can add your style. You can't get it wrong. Shake your hands in the air and your knees. Beautiful. Let's all, ready? Stomp. 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 Yes. This looks amazing. Can you start to lean over and bend your knees and even stomp a little more? That's it. Keep going. Stomp, stomp. Take it a little faster. Go. Stomp, stomp. Now I dare those of you that are in the aisles to move around a little bit. What would happen if you got out of your seats a little bit? Move it around, move it around. You can go forward or sideways or backwards. Use those arms. All right, freeze where you are. Hands on a drum. Drum it out, drum it out. Yes. Now, don't be boring. The drums aren't just in front of you. The drums are all around you. Yes. Show me all around you. The drums are even on your body. Whoa, what would happen there? Yes, the drums are on the chair behind you. On the chair in front of you, everywhere, they're everywhere. Freeze, bend your knees. Let's go back to the stomp. Here we go. All right, this time, we're gonna do 6 stomps and 2 jumps. Ready? Here we go, 6 stomps. Go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, jump, jump. Yes. On the jumps, watch this. Hey, hey, we're gonna make some noise. Ready, go. Hey, hey, oh, I can't hear you. Use those voice, ready, go. Hey, hey, even louder, don't be afraid. Let's hear it. Beautiful, one more time, nice and loud, ready, go. Hey, hey, drum. Drum with the person beside you. Drum with the person on the other side of you. Drum with the person behind you. Oh, they're not there, they're not there. Take your drumsticks, throw them in the air. Watch them go. How many of you think you're a rock star? Who's a rock star here, anybody? Can I see the biggest rock star pose you've got? Music, we're ready for you, we will rock you. Rock star. You got it. All right, when I say go, you're gonna strike a rock star pose. And you can't get it wrong. Ready? Strike a pose. Go. Change your pose. One more time, change your pose. Yes, you got it. Get your air guitar out. I know it's silly, it's all good. Play it. We will rock you. Let me hear you sing. You got it. Check it out. It goes stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp, stomp, clap. Yes. You got mud on you. I think you're all rock stars. Air guitar. Sing. We will rock you. Sing to the person beside you. You got it. All right, show me your muscles. Pump, pump, throw. You got pump, pump, throw. Awesome. Pump, pump, throw. Faster. Go. Pump, pump, throw. Pump, pump, throw. Every time you throw somewhere different. Pump, pump. Yes. You got it. Pump, pump, throw. All right, guys. Hands. Last move. It goes. Pat, pat, hand. Pat, pat. We're gonna get our brain going. Right now you have 10 on your hands. I'm gonna call a number out and I want you to show me. Ready? Show me 7. 7 a different way. How about 2 plus 2? How about 10 minus 1? I know it gets confusing. Get that air guitar out. And rock star pose. Amazing, guys. I will see you a bit later. Enjoy the rest of the morning. Thank you for grooving with me.
Woo! Actually, is Dr. Cron here? I think I need you. I have SVT. Thank you, Michelle, for taking us through that dynamic activity. Here's hoping a little movement and a little working together will get the most out of the various collaborative sessions. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker. Dr. Osler is an assistant professor in the Department of Otolaryngology, head and neck surgery at the University of Manitoba, and is involved in teaching medical students and residents. She is a passionate advocate for physician health, global surgery, and physician leadership. She's also the outgoing Canadian Medical Association president and leader in her own right. It was with great pleasure that I welcome Dr. Gigi Osler as the CCC 2019 opening kickoff keynote presenter.
So I just want to say, Michelle, you're a hard act to follow, and I'm making a mental note to make sure that I don't ever have to do that again on any schedule. Good morning, bonjour à tous, and thank you so much for being here this morning. It is my absolute pleasure to be with you to kick off the 2019 Canadian Cardiovascular Congress. I, too, would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Mohawk. And it's a land that has long been recognized as a meeting and exchange place between nations. As you heard, I'm an ENT surgeon from Winnipeg. I identify as she, her, and I'm very excited that you're here this early this morning. I spent the last 2 years in medical politics and in leadership positions with the Canadian Medical Association. And for those of you who don't know, the CMA is the National Medical Association which represents medical students, residents, and physicians across Canada. I'm here today to talk to you about what I've learned over the last 2 years, especially, on truth, lies, and misconceptions about leadership. And I should have some time at the very end to answer any questions. My only disclosure is that I receive a stipend as CMA past president. We have some learning objectives. But before we begin, put up your hands if you've ever been to a talk or a conference or a session on leadership. Okay, so a good number of people. But consider yourself warned. I'm not going to be giving you one of those leadership talks. I won't be speaking about leadership frameworks. I won't be speaking about leadership styles. But I will challenge you to think about leaders and leadership differently. Oh. And I'm going to focus on 3 sections: people, power, and platform. So let's start with people. And think about who are our leaders. And I'll get you to pull out your phones or iPads or laptops. We're going to start with an audience poll, and you've done this, so you know the session. Go to the ARS. This is a short answer question, so I want you to, using the keypad, type in the name of a leader. Type in the name of someone that just comes top of mind to you. And I'll give you about 30 seconds. I still see some people typing. Danny, can they enter more than one answer, or it's just one answer? Okay. Is there anybody still typing? Yes. Okay. All good? Okay. Barack, Gandhi, Justin. I hope not Bieber. That's what came to mind. But I assume it's Justin Trudeau. Mandela, Obama, Trudeau, Trump. When I was preparing for this talk, I began to think of leaders and who leads us. And many of the people that I thought about, many of the people that I admire are on this list. And then I thought about somebody different. I thought about Greta Thunberg. She's not your stereotypical leader. She's a very unlikely leader, but a powerful one, nevertheless. In 2018, the then 15-year-old teenage girl with Asperger's syndrome and OCD began sitting outside the Swedish parliament with a sign that read, "School strike for climate change." She was demanding that the Swedish government reduce carbon emissions in accordance with the Paris Agreement. And in the beginning, she was by herself. Soon, other students joined in other communities, and a movement formed called Fridays for the Future. And the movement spread across Sweden, across Europe, across the world. In 2018, she had her first appearance at the United Nations. This year, in September, the worldwide strikes for climate change had over 4 million people participating in it. And in September, just last month, she was back at the United Nations. But this time, she was calling out and shaming world leaders for their inaction on climate change.
My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
So forget whether you agree or disagree with her climate change message. I'm highlighting her to show you that leaders can be unlikely and can be different. She has no formal leadership training. She has no formal position with any organization. She's a teenage girl with Asperger's syndrome. And yet, in this clip, she displays, in my opinion, some of the innate qualities that leaders need: clarity of thought, honesty, courage, that enable her to speak truth to power. She's mobilized millions of people around the world to believe in her message and to take action. She has had incredible impact. And in the end, isn't that what leadership is all about? And since we're talking about unlikely leaders, I want to share with you my leadership journey to the CMA. The CMA presidency rotates between the different provinces and territories. And in 2016, it was Manitoba's turn to nominate a president. Now, I had never thought about running for CMA president. It had never even crossed my mind until I was asked to run. And my initial reaction was, me? Why me? Why would anyone vote for me? The thought of being CMA president terrified me. But the challenge excited me. So I couldn't sleep that night. I was so busy thinking about it. And by the morning, the excitement had grown greater than the terror. And the why me had changed to why not me? Fast forward to today. In the proud 152-year history of the Canadian Medical Association, and its presidents. I'm only the 8th female president. I'm the first woman of color and the first female surgeon. And in fact, I'm probably one of only a very small handful presidents of color at the CMA. And I highlight this story, my leadership story, to show that there's a lack of diversity in our healthcare leadership. Despite the diversity that we see in medical students, residents, practicing physicians, there's a gap at the top. And leaders can and should come in all genders, identities, ethnicities, languages, races. We need healthcare leadership that reflects the diversity, not only of our healthcare workforce, but the patients that we serve. So who is underrepresented in healthcare leadership? Here are some stats. Women are in the minority of senior leadership position, boards chairs, deans of medicine, hospital CEOs. There have only been 6 female deans of Canadian medical schools ever. Currently, 3 out of the 17 are women, and the first woman of color became dean in just July of this year. In 2016, there were 1.7 million Indigenous people in Canada, representing around 5% of the total population. And according to StatsCan, only 760 physicians in Canada identified as Aboriginal, less than 1% of our physicians. Of the 39 federal health ministers since Health Canada was established in 1919, only 9 have been women, 1 was First Nations, and 1 was a visible minority. Data on other underrepresented groups, visible minorities, people with disabilities, the LGBTQ two-spirit community, simply are not collected widely and are not readily available. Now, I don't need to tell this to you folks. You guys are the cardiology experts. But for the rest of us, what the Heart and Stroke Foundation says about heart disease in women is truly shocking. That for years, and for even now, 2/3 of all heart and stroke clinical research focuses on the male body. And the assumption for years was that one size fits all. And as a result, women's heart health outcomes are worse, and women are overdying. And this is where I see untapped potential in leadership. Leaders, as Dr. Cron said, set the tone and the culture and the direction of organizations. So I ask you, what if? What if we could improve the health outcomes of our patients simply by closing diversity gaps, by changing our culture? We can do that. Does it require governmental change? Doesn't require opening up the Canada Health Act. Doesn't require billions of dollars. We could do that. And when we talk and think about diversity, we have to expand the conversation beyond gender, race, ability, ethnicity. The benefit of diversity is in the cognitive diversity. The benefit is in how we think, avoiding groupthink, seeing our blind spots. Diverse leaders and diverse organizations have better problem-solving skills. They bring a broader lens to issues and different perspectives. Now, in the business world, they realize this, and there's a push in the business world to diversify boards. companies with diverse boards have better returns than similar companies with non-diverse boards. Now, this is a real-life example from Nivea. It was an advertising campaign. Now, I don't know exactly who was in the room when someone pitched the slogan, "White is purity," but a person of color in the room might have kind of gone, you know, could be interpreted as racist. And in fact, the online campaign was hijacked by white supremacist groups in the commentary, and they were posting racist commentary to the point where Nivea had to pull the campaign. So what's a truth that I've learned about leadership? The truth is, leadership is political. Now, politics is often considered a dirty word, and people sometimes shy away from leadership because they don't want to get involved in the politics. And when I think of politics, I think of big P formal politics, the way government is run, the way campaigns are run and elections are held. At the CMA, for example, we say that we are political, but we're nonpartisan. But there's also everyday informal politics. It's all around us. It's the way departments are run. It's the way meetings are organized. So being in leadership simply means accepting and understanding that politics is everywhere, but that being in leadership means you are held to a higher degree of accountability and under a higher degree of scrutiny. So let's talk about power. Power is an inescapable component of leadership. Yet many people are uncomfortable with the idea of wielding power. So everybody here who's in leadership, or for those who are thinking about leadership, you would benefit from understanding power and how to use it and how to wield it responsibly, both for moral and for practical reasons. And power and influence are often conflated. Power has been described as the ability to get what one wants, even in the face of resistance from others. Influence has been described as the ability to get what one wants, even in the absence of fear of punishment or promise of reward for others. And power and influence are essential to leadership. Think about some of the leaders you know. Who are the leaders that you know who have power but not as much influence? Or those with influence but not much power? And who has both? And of those three, who are the more impactful leaders? Now, power is often conceptualized in one of three ways. And the first is power as a power structure with control and authority. And that's often looked at as hard power. Secondly, think of power as the ability to work together. And that's power through empowering others and power through working with others, collectively, through collaboration. And finally, power is often conceptualized as power through knowledge or information. And sometimes it's a little of all three. As individuals, we have power inherent in ourselves, whether it's referent power, simply through our personal traits and attributes, or expert power, through our skills, knowledge, or expertise. And I can tell you that in this role over the last 2 years, I've spoken to a lot of physicians across the country who often feel powerless. But then you speak to health authorities, you speak to government, and they still recognize the expert power that physicians have. We simply haven't embraced it as much as we could. Organizations also lend power to us, and whether that's through formal named leadership positions, rewards, or punishment. So let me tell you a story. And this is a story about organizational power, collective organizational power. For years, there have been groups advocating for national medical licensure for physicians. In Canada, physicians need a separate medical license for each province and territory that they practice in. And several groups over the years have been advocating for a single national medical license. It's been held up as a strategy or a tool to help improve access to care for rural, northern, remote, or Indigenous communities. When we joined in this conversation almost exactly a year ago, we were told that it would be too hard to do. It would take at least 10 years to even move the needle forward. So we used our organizational power, soft power, to work collectively with all of the groups advocating for national licensure, such that by the end of this year, by the end of 2019, the national body that oversees medical licenses for physicians across the country will have formalized plans for 3 different forms of national licensure. One is a telemedicine license, one is a locum license, and one is what they're calling a fast-track license for physicians who want to move permanently from one jurisdiction to the other. So what we were told would take 10 years has taken place in 1. Now that wasn't hard power, it wasn't coercion, it wasn't rewards, but it was bringing together and working with organizations collectively such that we created a spark that lit a fire that moved things forward. And so it's a lie that I've learned about leadership. Never believe someone who tells you that leadership is easy. It's hard work. It's challenging. It can be disheartening and dissatisfying. But it can also be immensely satisfying and hugely rewarding. And if you were to ask me to do this again, I would do it over in an instant. So let's talk platforms. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines platform as a declaration of the principles on which a group of persons stands. And platform has also been described as an opportunity to voice one's views, spread messages, and initiate action. Social media has been called the world's new public address system. It is a new media platform. Political leaders have long recognized that the use of public communications helps them maintain order and stay in power. And in 2014, it was estimated that 3/4 of the world's political leaders had a social media profile or platform. And the reasons for that were modernization, message dissemination, and societal pressure. So if we, as modern healthcare leaders, if we want to be effective and impactful, we do need to know how to utilize new media effectively. And as you can see here, the cardiology world is very active on social media. And I'm going to give a shout out. Later this afternoon, 1:30 to 2 p.m., is a presentation by Canada's Cardio Twitterati. It's a workshop on Twitter. Community Forum, Theatre 2, and I'll see you there. For the CMA, our platform, our vision is for a vibrant profession and a healthy population. And I share that vision, and so I incorporate that platform and that vision into the messaging that I deliver, whether it's to groups like yours or with elected officials. So I'm going to share a story of how I used my actual platform and social media to advance a message. As CMA presidents, we meet regularly with elected officials. And in February of this year, my daughter came home from university for Reading Week. And it was around the time when there were measles outbreaks all over the country, including the city and the university where she was studying. We're sitting at the dinner table one day talking about the measles outbreaks. And she reminded me that last summer, she'd gotten her immunization record in the mail. And the record said that she had missed a dose of her MMR vaccine. And I was like, no way. You got all your vaccines, I was a good mother, there must be a mistake. And as it turns out, she had gone and had her titers checked, and she was immune. But I was mad at the rise of pseudoscience, mad at vaccine hesitancy that was allowing measles to spread across the country. And I knew I had a meeting with the Minister of Health the following week. So I went out and I got t-shirts made, one for me and one for the minister. We weren't even meeting to talk about vaccines, but I knew that when you have a meeting with an elected government official, particularly a minister, both sides always take a photo, and both sides always announce it in some way. It's often on Twitter, or maybe it's a statement, or maybe it's on Instagram. The minister tweeted our photo out, and it went viral for her. It was the most liked tweet she had for the year. And in fact, she was so happy with the messaging that a few months later, she went out and had a t-shirt, same t-shirt made for the Prime Minister, gave it to him and had a picture of them taken. So I wanted to take that opportunity to use my platforms, both platforms, to advance an important message in the face of a communicable disease outbreak across the country. And the message I wanted to get across was that vaccines were safe, vaccines are effective, and vaccines save lives. So what's a misconception that I've learned about leadership? The misconception is that leadership is an individual sport, because it's not. It truly is a team sport. Psychologically, that helps take some of the mental pressure off of you. And I think that I couldn't have done everything that I've done over the last 2 years without a team supporting me in Ottawa and a team back home in Winnipeg. And my home team are my family, my colleagues, and my staff. Smart leaders surround themselves with smarter people and more capable people. And it's been said that if you find yourself in a room where you're the smartest person, you need to find yourself a new room. So if you're in this room today, you work in healthcare. And if you work in healthcare, then you know the challenges our workforce, our system, and our patients face. We need change, and we need to make a difference. So in closing, I'm going to leave you with a call to action. And my call is for all of you to rise to the challenge of leadership, so that when a leadership opportunity comes your way, you say, why not me? Instead of why me? Because no one of us is too small, and no action is too small to make a difference. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech. So at this point, I'm happy to take questions, and I think I forgot to say you can submit questions via the app, and someone will run the questions up for me, or we do have runners with microphones, and feel free to put your hands up. And if there are no questions, I am around for the next 2 days. No questions? Okay. Well, thank you for your time. Enjoy the sessions, and I look forward to meeting all of you in person.
Thank you very much, Dr. Osler. That was truly outstanding. All right, to keep you invigorated, please join me in welcoming back Michelle Hillier to close off this morning's kickoff session.
Thank you. All right, I'm back. On your feet. Let's do this. I have you for a couple more minutes just to get you ready for your couple days of learning. Give the person beside you a high five again, reacquaint yourself.
You did a great job.
Everyone take a big stretch up in the air as well. I mean, oh, that feels good. So for the next song, we're going to actually embrace our inner child and be a little playful and imaginative. DJ, hit it for me, please. Legs together. Woo! Drum roll. Go. So you are a surfer who's lost your surfboard. Yeah? You're gonna play around with that. You like that? Swim. Yes, but you're not just a regular surfer, you're like a funky surfer. Can I see some style? Yeah, you got it, girl, I like that. Use that head, shake it out. All right, look for your surfboard, where is it? There it is. Get on your board, go. Jump again. Yeah, jump again. Now when you land, can you make a funny shape? Go. Anything you want. Don't copy me. Jump again. 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 Uh-oh, you fell off your board. Swim somewhere new. Go, swim. But don't just do the front crawl. What else can you do? What other strokes do you know? I see backstroke. I see butterfly. That's super hard, I know. Do I see doggy paddle? Big breaststroke. You got it, guy. Like that. All right. There's your board. Jump on your board. Go. Jump. Yes. Jump again. Now wiggle in between. Wiggle in between. We're being playful. We're being silly. We're being imaginative. Jump again. You got it again. Again. One more. Uh-oh. Last time you fell off your board. Swim somewhere new. But I want you to splash each other as you go by. Splash each other. Can I hear some splashing sound effects? Even bigger, give some a big soaker. Awesome. Last chance, get on your board. Go. Can you land on one foot? If you have high heels, ladies, it might be a bit tricky. Other foot. Yes. Other foot. Woo! Both feet. Again. One more. You stayed on. Happy dance on your board. Happy dance on your board. Beautiful. And bubble down to the bottom of the ocean. And last song, my friends. Now this next song is all about embracing togetherness. And anybody know the song? Lean on me. And I feel that this community, you do a good job of that. I can tell already by the way you're interacting. So we're going to practice that, put it in our body. Big breath in. And exhale down. Shake it all out. One more. Big good. Inhale and out. And bend those knees. We're going to connect together on a big group clap. Here we go. Clap. Clap. You got it. Can I see some style? Clap. Clap. You got it. How big can you make that clap? Warming up the body, getting ready to learn for the day. All right, little change. It goes step, step, clap. Step, step, clap. Step, step, clap. You got it. Nice. Now, whoever's beside you, can you step, step, high 10? Step, step, 10. Step, step, 10. Step, step, 10. Find somebody new. Step, step, 10. Step, step, 10. Make a new friend. All right, find a partner. I want you just to go back to back, shoulder to shoulder with that partner. Lean on them and just start dancing with them a little bit. And we can sing, lean on me. Let the arms dance, not strong. Can I hear you? Friend, I'll help you carry. What are your arms doing? For it won't be long. You guys look amazing. Nice. All right, new move, new move. It goes point and wave. Point and wave, yes. Every time you point to somebody different and smile at them. Point and wave. Point, someone new, go, point. That's your new partner. Back to back with them, go, lean on me. Find a partner, back to back. Strong, and I'll be your friend. How low can you get? Oh, 3, 4. Nice. And last time, guys, big clap. Give yourself a huge bow. Thank you so much for grooving with me. Enjoy the next couple days, and thank you so much for having me here today. Awesome work.
Thank you very Thank you very much. I wonder why they legalized pot. They should just have Michelle Miller around. So now I really like to invite you to wholeheartedly enjoy CCC 2019. Make the most of this occasion. Network with colleagues and peers, new and old. Visit the community forum. There are lots of great exhibits and new features area. And take in the sight, sounds, and all the positive vibes Montreal has to offer. Welcome.
Thank you.